Hello, I'm John Smaby, a realtor from the Twin Cities and your 2019 NAR president. I'm here today about the Mapping Prejudice project. This project that exposes the structural barriers that stopped many people who are not white from buying property and building wealth for most of the past century.
Actually, what drew me to the project was probably the civil unrest and the death of George Floyd.
When I first saw the languages in these racial covenants, it was shocking.
By actually looking at some of the documents and seeing the racial covenants, it really drives home the fact that this was a real thing. It actually happened.
It's all so concrete and so real to me. It's like I can look into the past. I can see the names of the people on the deeds, and sometimes I even recognize them as people I might have gone to school with. And I can picture them all excited about this great house, but at the same time, I look at the deed and there's this ugly deed restriction on it.
By seeing non-whites or anyone not of the Caucasian race, or listing out African American, Chinese.
It says only white people can buy this property.
All sorts of other different ethnic backgrounds.
I've seen long lines against people who are Jewish, Turkish, Mexican.
That aren't able to lease, to own property, to live in property in certain areas.
It really hit the core, it really hit like right here, because I'm a person of color and I've, dealt with my own experience of being not liked or, telling me to go back to my country. And so I think about, all those people back then and just a society as a whole telling them that they couldn't live here or there and being pushed out of specific area. It's quite emotional.
It really made an impact in terms of making some of these great parts of our lives unavailable to everyone.
As someone who's in the real estate profession, first of all, it made me not proud at all.
Realtors and everybody enforce these deed restrictions. I mean, realtors were actually taught that it was their duty to make sure that these deed restrictions were enforced, because otherwise it would hurt property values. If white and brown people live in the same neighborhood, there go property values. Well, that's not true, but that myth is persisted.
By understanding what's happened in the past and putting in programs and opportunities to help us move forward together, we can actually make homeownership available for more and more people. And that's really why we got into the business and became realtors.
Being in real estate, it was just critical for me to get involved, to bring light into this information.
If you have an opportunity to volunteer, even if it's a small thing, do it. Because again, if enough of us do small things, then maybe we'll be able to make big things start happening.
The Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Minnesota Associations of Realtors are working on a project to close the homeownership gap through education, advocacy, and community work. The project is a Realtors Rebuilding Community Group. We have raised over $250,000 that can help those businesses rebuild after they were damaged. This is just the beginning. We have a lot of hard work ahead of us, and we have a lot to learn. The real estate industry can and will lead the charge for ensuring fair housing and racial equality for all.